You have all heard the term aggressive jungling and wondered, hey, how do I do that? You've also heard you need to gank more, but then you play a farming jungler, so how does that work? In this video, I'm going to show you the exact form aggressive jungling can take from a ganking jungler's perspective and a farming jungler's perspective against each other. If you want high-level ganking pathing for every jungler, how to have advanced early tempo, how to do dives, and more, no matter what jungler you're playing, this video will cover all of those things and give you all the answers. And don't forget, I have actually updated my jungle improvement PDF to have all the information necessary to take you from meta to meta, from season to season, along with in-depth jungle video courses for your MMR to take you to the next level, faster, better, stronger, and one-on-one coaching and a coaching VOD library, along with a whole bunch of reviews to show you just how great it is. Virkayu.gg is a jungler's learning paradise. Click the link in the description below to become the jungle diff forever. Be it growth tips sold separately. And yes, the sample lecture is taken directly from the highest level course I make, the one that gets people to master tier, but will apply to absolutely every single MMR. This Elise is a ganking jungler. She's gonna do her ganking tempo, her whatever she wants to do. We have ourselves a master tier Evelynn against us. This is an Elise main, 200 plus games, Diamond 2. This is as diamond as you get, and yet there's a farming jungler on the other side. And now what happens typically in these regards, in these situations, is that the Smurf jungler will always end up out-ganking even a ganking jungler. Why? A lot of it comes down to execution, but a lot of it comes down to mentality. The basic fundamentals that I can give you in 2 points is learn minion wave management. I will leave a video below to help you on that, and at least go play lane. So even if you don't have this scientific, Viego V2 level understanding of what the minions are thinking at every moment, you at least understand how it feels to play lane when there's a shove, when there's a freeze, when there's push-pull, when you're trading, when you're trying to CS and win your lane relevant to enemy jungler pathing, because that's important, right? If I'm going to push this up, and I know my jungler's pathing to this win condition on the top side, and the enemy jungler's pathing down, I have to be aware that this could be a thing they're going to try doing. I have to ward and play accordingly. I have to be aware of this as a bottom lane. But then the Elise should also go, well, what's my win condition? I mean, this guy here, he's straight up, he's a rock. He will always be good. Do I need to gank this lane? Not really. What about the Rumble versus Cassiopeia? We've seen some strong Rumble players in the mid lane, and Cassiopeia is a tough one with her miasma, but it is a gankable lane. Ultimately, I think this is the lane we want to gank. And why do we want to do this? Because we want to get ahead of the enemy jungler who's going to be full clearing down. Now, if we mess up in any capacity, they can cut their clear using dynamic pathing, right? Saying, okay, look, I'm not going to finish my full clear because I'm not a diamond jungler. I'm a master jungler in this particular case, says the Evelynn. Who knows who this person is? And they finish the clear and then they cut through and say, oh, look, I'm going to rotate down. I'm not going to do these things because I see there's a fight I can rotate to and clean up. Oh, look, I saw the Elise ganking through wards. I'm going to go this way and cut immediately. Dynamic pathing, right? All the things we talked about in the beginning of the last games. So that's one, okay? That's the biggest thing. And the second thing is to repeat and abuse. Now, it sounds simple, but when we talk about jungle flow and going from one thing to the next and looking for the best play, eyes up jungling, playing the map, like we're washing a car, making sure there's no streaks as we wax it finally. In the next section, the farming section, and Udyr will have an opportunity for repeat gank on a push lane with his top lane having a freeze. The top lane has OTB, and he misses it. And it's missed a lot. And the reason why I went into this hypothetical stuff, or I will go into this hypothetical stuff in the next section about looking at lanes quite actively when you're farming jungler, is because you got to look for these dives, you got to look for these trades, you got to look for the lane states all the time so that you can plan where you're going next. Because if you're doing this, and then you see this is set up for a dive, and the enemy jungler is maybe going to cut in here, you currently have a lot of time to go in and make this dive safe. And the enemy jungler can do nothing about it. Whereas if you finish this whole quadrant, and then you want to go dive, well, now it's rebounded, and the enemy jungler may be cutting through mid lane because they saw you or they think you might be doing that. Now you've missed a play. So pay attention to those two things. We're going to do this here. The Cassiopeia moves up and then moves back, which means what? She most likely slapped a ward in the river. Huge. Absolutely huge vision right there. And if you're an Elise, now I've been talking a lot about keeping a warding totem, right? Especially for tracking enemy jungler rotations, first, second rotation, because we can look at the wards. Now, if the goal of the Elise here was to be anonymous and not be seen, this screws us. Now we need to go scan it and clear it. That's where the scanner has benefit, okay? So if you're playing against lanes and matchups where it's range versus melee, or they're just able to have that kind of prio, they will be able to go and ward this. They will be able to go and ward this. They will be able to go down and ward this. Same thing here. So that's where if you track and select and loading screen, okay, look, I have 3 losing lanes, or these lanes are losing and this lane is winning. which means there's a chance that they can go deep ward against my early pressure. A scanner will do a lot more work for you in terms of clearing that and providing question marks over your actions. You follow? So that's the kind of stuff you want to think about when you're thinking about pathing into rivers, or now do we just flex up, or what about going to the bottom lane here? Those kinds of things, right? Really important to think about that. Because we are planning to probably go this into the mid lane, now the Elise is like, well, I've seen it's warded, right? I know the Evelynn, boom, seen on vision here, dragging it shows, doesn't matter if you're F-King, you should see this as well, is going to be farming down in this direction. Which means now I kind of have a little bit of tempo advantage for the gank in the bottom side here. But again, if you're watching while you're doing this, you see the Kai'Sa moves up, not the Thresh, and ADC will only leave if they truly believe that you might try and gank them. And she's doing it because you're a ganking jungler. And they have push. Now, you can argue until the cows come home about the theory of should they have push, should they not have push. They have push. And that's all that really matters. How do we react to it? Now the Elise is in a bit of a coin flip situation where it's like, okay, look. She's warded this. They've warded this. I've literally no way to get to this lane, okay, without walking through vision. So what is the solution? And again, I'll talk about this in the next section, but you can always flash the wall if you're that committed. And that's not a joke. You could honestly just flash the wall. I've spoken about this on Twitter a few times with some people as well. Some high-elo junglers like, yeah, just flash the wall. just go get your gank. Go get it done. Because if you do this right, boom, and you show up here, that's a gank that can work. Now, the biggest question is, and I'm going to illustrate this to you right now. Zyra support, excuse me, Zyra jungle. We don't take E until level 3. Now I'm going to click. She better be QW. Oh, my. Why are you Zyra's taking E first? It's absolutely horrific. This is why she's being pushed in right now. Sidestep. This is why she's being pushed in. QW, trade, shove, 2 prior, easy mode. Easy dive for the Elise. Also, what I can do then, as the Zyra support here for your Elise, if you go boom, boom, boom with the intent of ganking my lane, this won't be warded because I have shove here. Let's go and kill the Evelynn. You follow? That jungle lane interaction and matchup knowledge works together, which is why I play both of those roles. I also play this role sometimes, but I don't like sleeping really. So, you know, and getting really, really, really bored. So hopefully you see what I'm saying with that kind of understanding. Now, your laners very clearly don't know what they're doing, because if she went E first, she doesn't know. 12 seconds to 7 seconds, E versus Q. She could easily outrange and poke with a good Ezreal and destroy the Kai'Sa. They could position accordingly behind waves to avoid the Thresh. All they want to do is make sure that Evelynn can't gank this and that there's a possibility of an invade here from the Elise. And again, worst case scenario, we go here or you go here and do it yourself. If you're a Rek'Sai, if you're a carnivorous jungler who can invade an Evelynn and kill them here, design yourself a clear that lets you get to this point when you're Zyra Ezreal who should have shove and go kill. And now because you've got shove, go dive. So that's the kind of aggression and jungle lane interaction we're talking about. Now, all of that aside, what do you think actually happens here? What should you do based upon the vision? Look at the waffling. I'm seen. That's it. In her mind is blown. I'm seen. Okay, well then, go gank this. F key this. Okay. And get a kill. Try. Do your best. This should be a kill. Boom, at least it's something. All right? At least it's something. Okay? And now you can always fall back to this. You can translate over to this. You know, the Evelynn's going to have this, but the Evelynn's not going to go dive this lane, and this lane's shoved in. They're safe. They're safe. They're relaxed. And you communicate. You ping it off. You say, no, no, no. Evelynn's here. Just chill, please. Because Evelynn will just take this, most likely go back to base. So let's go and do cool things on this side and maybe do something here later. I mean, probably not without a reset, but you follow my meaning, right? If she does invest to 4 minutes 30 down here, you know you can go ahead and steal that if it's on the cards, right? So there's the flex decision, the dynamic decision of, hey, that was my goal. Okay, shit, they took it away. Okay, this is my goal. Oh, shit, they took it away. All right, I guess I have to go up. But they have no idea what you're doing still. The anonymity is maintained. And that's how you want to think about it as a ganking jungler in terms of fusing these principles together. Now, so let's see what happens in reality. The Elise will walk through the ward. No scanner, can't deny. The Evelynn will see this and go, oh, I better rotate down to this situation. And now we have a terrible angle of approach. We have a cannon minion wave. And what did I say in the theoretical portion just before this? A jungler will come around the wall into a wave that's pushed up. They'll look at this. They don't look at this. They don't look at this. They don't think about this. They don't think about this. They just back off. Now you've got this huge space between everything. These minions are still doing damage. Everyone's going to come on down. This is a doom scenario. It's terrible ganking assessment at a high level. It will work in Platinum, it will work in Gold because you just walk around the wall and kill them because they ain't gonna notice that you walk through a ward. But now they will, they're backing off. Alright, we flash hit the Cocoon, which is great, but Zyra shouldn't have E. You follow? And of course E has a long travel time. So flash E from Zyra is significantly slower than a flash Cocoon. It's very slow. You gotta know your laners. Now if you have a Blitzcrank, can you flash hook this person so I can hit my Cocoon? Yes? Okay, that's fine. In that case, we can do that. Hey, Leona, can you flash Q and then follow up with a Zenith Blade to make sure I can hit my Cocoon and we can get the kill? Yes? Okay, cool. You gotta know what your laners can do, what they're capable of. But now, Evelynn, okay, I was actually giving her a little bit more credit than I thought maybe. She's reacting quite late to the scenario, but regardless, she's still reacting. The minion wave is still not well positioned for our blue team, so they have to retract a little bit, even though the cannon minion has died. Now this wave on the blue side is going to push up a little bit, which means they have to back off to this point while the red team can stay here. You've gone into the river. Why? Why have you gone into the river? You want to go and invade the Evelynn? But if you paid attention to the wave and the positioning of the wave, you'd see that your team had to back up beyond this line. Your team had to back up to this point, which gives them the position to basically just take you on 2v1. It's not that complicated. It's just looking at those positions. So while we go back in here, we turn on the Kai'Sa and basically say, look, I'm dead. I might as well try to get a kill. I think that's the right play in that particular scenario. But as you can see, it doesn't work out, you know? And of course, the Zyra is basically playing with 5 seconds less spell usage. Oh, she missed that one too. She could have got the kill. She would have got the kill if she'd hit it. Tragic. I mean, she's playing with 5 seconds less spell usage if she went with a Q. So you're seeing here a ganking jungler completely ruin entire game and lane because of their aggressive decision that should have just been something else. And Fiora gets away with being low HP and not dying. Huge, no? Huge. You can always red side quadrant and go top lane. You have your blue side to fall back, everything to fall back. Now, basically, we're panicking, okay? So the Evelynn's just gonna go back and do her Scuttle, her Gromp, her Blue. Her sequencing won't be amazing. What we could have done if we were gonna be super aggressive, okay, let's play this in real time here, is I'm gonna leave base and I'm gonna go and take this immediately. Outside in rule. I wanna take this and I'm gonna look at the clock and I'm gonna say it's 4 minutes. Now I know Evelynn showed up here with 16 and no blue. So I know she's gonna take this, I know she's gonna take blue, and I know she's gonna take Gromp. We know that, categorically. If she decides not to, it's because she knows you want the Krugs. I want the Krugs. So essentially what you should be doing is out of base, cut in here, snack this baby, go up here, steal these Krugs. Gank top lane with a good angle of approach. It's a Malphite. When it's not a Malphite, it's better. If you cannot gank it and it's looking like it's ungankable, then don't, right? Just float back and go do your blue side. No stress. No stress at all. Or float back out and go do a mid lane gank. But again, they're basing and Evelynn will be coming from base. So you got to play with that timer. That timer's huge. But instead of the outside in rule, we go Wolves blue, which is terrible. And now we're watching the Fiora, who's warding up knowing that Elise is going to come to the top side. So kudos to her. But as we can see, good jungling would have negated this entirely. Because you would see this. You would see this. And you would be taking this right now. And now you would be watching this top wave and you go, okay, look, that wave is going to be maybe a dive possibility. Maybe we could actually dive this. Maybe I could just shadow this and force a dive here. We know Evelynn's coming from the base, so you have to, again, factor in timing. 20 seconds odd, 25 seconds, 30 seconds, depending on boots and game state. How quickly they're going to be able to arrive here before I can get this going. If you can join it with the Malphite right now, right? After doing Krugs, you join it with the Malphite right now. Okay? Maybe we can do something. But this wave can be easily, quickly destroyed. You're going to have nice fat juice here. This is going to collapse your Evelynn. Your Elise. You can do stuff here. 100%. And of course, whether it works out, whether it doesn't work out is up to you. But again, the whole concept of outside in rule, counter jungling because I know she's there. So I'm going to take something while she's not here. Going to deny her. Going to go and gank this or dive this because the wave's looking like it could be done. Even though it is a Fiora, of course, SAS, mechanics, PvP, all of that's important. And if not, clear the vision, walk back down to blue side. Carry on about your business. So there was a way back in, even in this elo. But instead, we do this, now we're seen. Okay, at this particular point, you know Evelynn did these camps, you know Evelynn's coming out of base at this particular stage. Maybe she cut something out, okay? And effectively what that means is that you know she 99%, as I said, what's most probable, did this stuff, but if she didn't, could she be here? Hit the plant. There's no reason to not hit the Scry's Bloom. Let me get information. Now, I would always hit it in such a way that most likely covers at least this section here across, because I want to see if they're roaming, right? You probably do hit, based upon the width, you probably do hit this ward, so you most likely will get that ward killed, and you will know that you were seen. Now we're going to basically do exactly what I just damn well said, but because we didn't do it first, the Evelynn shows up first onto the Malphite with this wave super low Fiora, misses the opportunity. Evelynn's going to go up here. Now we're going to go through this bush. This is warded. Can you see the difference between a high elo mindset and a diamond mindset? Now, we've been talking about a lot of these in platinum and gold, looking outside the rule, looking for all these things, right? And now the Evelynn, where's she going to go? She's going to go back to this. So you kind of maybe want to go fist this, but you also want to do this. So now we're in a situation where it's a straight up 2v2. It's unnecessary. This should not be the case at all. And hopefully you can see that, all right? So that mindset shift is, I know, because I pressed tab and I tracked, yeah, I messed up. But now I can do this. Now I know 420 spawn. Now I know I can dive this. Evelynn shows up. It doesn't matter if yours already out of the game. Now we can take this. Everyone wants to do her Krugs. They can't. They're gone. Everyone's going to go down to the Raptors here. So what you're going to do is shadow and just kill her on it. I don't think you would necessarily want to make that play with boots versus alternator and things like this and blasting ones. But again, I'm putting the seed of possibility of aggression. In a more conservative case, now you just fall back to your blue side. Cool. And then most likely Evelynn's going to do this and go to your mid laner, because if we look at this, we see, okay, look, he's shoving up too. If she goes to the Raptor, she's going to cut through here. And I had a coaching session where basically it was like, look, you've got to be ready to shadow this. You know, you've got to be ready to shadow this. And maybe even dive this directly. Like if you just go down here, oh, look, I can actually, yeah, you know what, true. Just dive this directly as well. Take away the gank from the Evelynn. Twice. Boom, boom. And here you would have taken this away as well. So she's farming with nothing, but you're controlling the tempo from the shadows until you show with a dive, with another gank, and it avalanches. That's what you're looking to do. If you fuse all of these ganking principles together, outside in rule together, good job Rumble killing good job Rumble, they killed each other, you know? And now, of course, we go back in, it's too far away, nice cocoon hit, max range, doesn't really matter. Evelynn's on this, she's gonna do this. We now have the Evelynn going back to the top lane. She's just gonna hold because Fiora has to go back to base. Now we're basically sitting here expecting her to kind of hang around, but she's most likely gonna go to here. She can always hold this if necessary. She can do this. She's gonna have an early level 6, and you're gonna lose all of the pressure a ganking jungler should have. End of story. Now we walk through the ward again. Don't know what to do at this particular point. Now basically what we look at is exactly the Evelynn doing that. She doesn't hold, she doesn't show, she keeps anonymity. That's great because Cassiopeia is coming down, so that's fine. Boom, cut. Why? Because we have a gank, and we know that the Elise is coming on down. So instead of doing the Gromp, although one could justify doing it, instead of doing the Gromp, she's going to stay out and make this gank on this lane because her lane is winning, and she's going to get ahead of the Elise. Tempo gank ahead, right? It goes back and forth. And this is the master level read. Gets the W slow, just make sure we keep hitting our Qs. We have a few auto attacks as slow as out. Hit another Q, hit another hate spike, and up he goes. Death before you, Ezreal. And she's just farming away. So there is a little bit of a redeeming feature here. I did scout this a little bit, not in depth. I just wanted to have a look to see if there was something redeeming, because obviously we're eviscerating the Elise in this game. And rightly so, because, you know, these are mistakes that could be avoidable and should be avoided at this elo. There we go. Still level 5. Okay. Now she's going to go and hold the mid lane. And the Evelynn telegraphs a little bit that she's cutting left, right? So that's very important because now you know she's gone left. She could be faking you out. I don't know why I would just take the whole wave and Joy gets 6, you know? I mean, I don't know what we're looking to do. We get spotted. The Evelynn says, you know what? I took the dragon. Now I'm just going to go to the Herald. And that's the flex, right? Evelynn took the dragon, so now she knows she can get the Herald. That's free objective control. If you want to go and float around my blue side jungle with no blue and no grump, be my guest. Be my guest. And the Elise should be tracking what the Evelynn's doing, but she is not. I mean, it's pretty simple at this particular stage. Hey, 16, 20, 24, 28, comes out of here, shows up. Still 28, goes, does this. Hey, that's 36, 40, shows bot lane with 40. Does the dragon, 44, does this, 48, has ganked this now. You can keep tracking the CS the whole time as they go through the game, pressing tab at all times, and you'll know what's available. But I think we all know that she's sequencing top to bottom, And if she sequenced top to bottom again, after this gank on the bottom side and doing the dragon, there's nothing left. This should be nothing in the bottom lane to counter jungle. But I do like that we're going the long way around. Why? Because we can have a nice angle of approach, a nice gank, and this is what we've been looking for. Okay, we're looking at the bottom lane. Here we go. We're looking at this. We're looking at the bottom lane. And now we see the root from the Zyra. She is level 6. It's a terrible ult, but it doesn't really matter. Very, very slow combo. The slow stacking is enough. We force the flash out from the Kai'Sa. We can hit the Q Neurotoxin onto the Thresh to make sure we get that kill. No flash on the Kai'Sa now. Cleanse is about to be up. No ult, obviously, because she's not level 6. So can we punish that with a nice little dive? As she hits 6, we can, but we hit the Cocoon. Zyra hits the root. We get a free dive. This is the kind of stuff we're looking for. And now, obviously, telegraph it from Evelynn's perspective. She's now 403. She was shown top lane. We see the Elise walk through this brush. Cryo here. Guys coming out of base. Kai'Sa's up in 3 seconds. The Kha'Zix example of, hey, let me steal the blue and get out. Perfect. When the mid laner is not Cryo. Don't greed. They can extrapolate where you're going. They have eyes too. If you have to pay attention to lane sets for your ganks, laners have to pay attention to when junglers are stealing your buffs. And that does happen, and it will happen, and she did, and she does, and she kills.